At the end of 2020, I did an online workshop for a church, and I did a sort of like a segment on Worship Pianist Toolkit, which basically I talk about, the tips and tricks for the segment that's not playing the song, like the beginning of the song, the ending of the song, transitions, prayer time, and stuff like that. The things that's not written on the score, the things that's, the chord chart doesn't tell you what to do. And so I did this toolkit workshop, Worship Pianist Toolkit, and the feedback was that it's very helpful. And so I thought, hey, why don't I take some of these concepts and share it with you as well. And from the last video, I've heard some comments from you guys, and you guys thought it was helpful too. So I thought today I'll share with you another one. And if you find them to be helpful, let me know in the comment section down below. If you have other sort of questions or, these kind of gray areas that you don't know what to do, these kind of problematic areas of playing in church or playing in any scenario, and you don't know, hey, what should I do in this scenario, you can let me know in the comment section down below, and we can try to tackle that together. Today, the tool that I want to share with you is the song ending tool. How do you end a song? Most of the time when we get a lead sheet, it just the ending of the song is just like a chord, like it just ends on a chord, or sometimes they'll have this little outro section, but more often than not it doesn't. And even if they have an outro, it's not very helpful, because for us, we don't always have to play the outro, and sometimes there's prayer, sometimes we have to do a transition, sometimes we have to end it right there. So what do we do? How do you end it musically? How do you choose appropriate ending for the section, for prayer, for ending, for sermon, whatever? Are there some options, and what can we do to end a song? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me grab my headphones, and let's go through our tips together. So the first and the simplest way that I feel like maybe it's a little bit underrated is just to add arpeggio. Let's take an example. If we go Amazing Grace, I'm going to play in G. Simplest way to do it is just add some arpeggio. So many of us, I feel like we just end it like this. And this is a valid way to end it. It's just a very simple way to end it. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you are looking for something to drag it a little bit more, you can do this. Simple, but it works. And it makes it sound nice, and you can make it as complicated as you wish. Like, maybe that's a little too much, but that's something you can do, and it makes it a little bit more fancy. The good thing about this, I think a lot of people don't realize, is by doing an arpeggio and by sort of elongating the end, you buy yourself some time. You buy yourself some time without the awkward silence. You buy yourself some time to flip the page, to think of what's coming next. You buy some time for your bandmates, or, just give a little breather without that silence. So that's something that I just strongly suggest everybody to do. Just add the arpeggio in. You can go as slow as you can, as fast as you can, as fast as you want. Add as many notes as you want in the chord. Right, so I'm in the chord, I'm in the G. So you can do those. You can do the 1, 3, 5. You can add the 2 in as well. It sounds very warm when you add the 2 in. If you want a little bit more sort of drama, add the 7th, and so on and so forth. So that's something that's just very simple. Just add the arpeggio in. It's going to buy you some time. It's going to sound nice when you end the song, so just do it. There's no harm in it. Second sort of song ending tip that I have is ring it out. Like sometimes when you're ending a song at a high dynamic, doing a little arpeggio like that is not going to really cut it. So sometimes we do it like this. And this is one way that a lot of times I have to end it when we are ending a song at high dynamic, and if the band goes with you. Because when you end a song, at high dynamic, and then you just do that, then it's a little bit awkward. And even if you do that, sometimes it just doesn't fit quite well if you want to sustain the dynamic a little bit. So ring it out. So what I'm doing is I'm playing a chord, and then I'm doing this this motion, if you can see it on the camera. This motion, like a handshake motion, a little bit like that. I'm sort of moving my hand from the elbow onwards, so from this forearm. This is something that our prof taught me. Because if you just do it with the fingers, it's gonna get very tiring. But if you do it with sort of this handshake, you can shake hands forever. Like this is not tiring. So you can do. And all you do is you just keep those fingers sort of somewhat firm so that you can keep playing the notes. And my left hand's playing octaves, so rolling it at the same time. Go higher. I like to just roll it in the middle here. And obviously put the sustain pedal down. Right? That's another way to end it. Second one. The third one, it's a similar one to this, is, well, I'll show you first. It's like a baby brother version of the Ring It Out one. This is just sustaining the sound. It's useful when, again, you need to buy some time, or when you're coming out of that ring out section and then you have to slowly drop down, or you need just to sustain the ending a little bit longer without, the arpeggio, because the arpeggio is going to end when you get to the top. So sometimes I do this. Instead of ringing the whole, I ring sort of like two notes in each hand. I'm doing these two, the 2 and 3, and the 1 and 2 here on the left hand. And this time I'm doing more of the fingering. I'm not doing more of this sort of big motion because it was not necessary. And I wanted the good thing about this is because you can do this with one hand, and you can page turn and you can do stuff. You can buy yourself some time without the awkward silence again. And it's very flexible because when you have to end the song, you can just end it like that. Or if you need to keep going, or somebody's praying, it just gives you a lot more flexibility. And if you need to go to something else, you can go to there right away. So I like that a lot. Sometimes if you're playing keyboard, or if you are playing a synthesizer and it has a pad underneath, then you don't have to ring this. You can just press it and let the pad sort of do its thing. So, but sometimes for us piano players, we don't always have to play the keyboard. Sometimes we're playing it upright or something like that. So you can just sustain the sound. Cool. The next one that I have for you, I think it's tip number 4. I have a lot of them. Hopefully I can finish all of them in this video. The next one I have for you is you can use this tip in conjunction with the first 3. This is very simple. You just replace that last chord with a 4 chord. So you can ring it, you can do into arpeggio like that. It just gives you another feeling. It's a little bit more like a floaty feeling, not a definite ending kind of feeling. It's more like for prayer segments. I think yes. I did a video. I did like a video series on underscoring, playing under prayer. I think at the end of last year. So I talk a little bit more about using the 4 chord there and transitioning to prayer. If that's something that is helpful to you, you can go to that video as well. So you can replace that 1 chord at the end with a 4 chord of any, in any song you can do that. As long as the ending of the song is end on 1, you can replace it with 4, and it gives you that sound. Cool. Tool number 5. Let me take a look. Tool number 5 is, sometimes I think we don't do this enough. Sometimes you can use the intro of your song and use it as your outro. And let's give you an example. So This works well if you want to end the song formally, if this is more like a performance kind of thing, and if you have arranged a special intro to it. And the one that I did was just a very simple one. I just used the line of the verse. But if you have some well-written intro or something that you have already used at the beginning of the song, or maybe in the instrumental, just use it again. It's going to give your song a very sort of well-rounded, well-polished sort of feeling when you end it like that. Chinese songs usually lend better to this approach. If you have a distinct intro, that's going to help a lot. So that's what you can do. Use the intro as your outro. A couple more tools. I have a couple more. Hopefully I can finish this. Number 6 now, I believe. Number 6 now. If you don't want to use the intro, what you can do is you can drag out that one chord by adding a sus in it. Let's sus in it. If you play Among Us, you know. Anyway. Yes, one sus. So let's go example. I probably need to do that again. Let me do that again. Oops. My apologies. Do it one more time. What's the logic here? Basically, when you end it on the 1, you add one extra, sort of like a 1 sus chord. The sus chord is playing the 4 instead of 3. So this is your G chord, G B D 1 3 5. You play the 4 1 4 5 as opposed to 1 3 5, and then you go back and forth between them. The reason I have to keep looking here is because I typed out the score and I have to make sure I play what's on the score so that when I put them on, anyway. So that's the 1 to 1 sus to 1. It gives you a little bit more like a resolved feeling, a definite ending. I call it the amen ending, but I don't think that's the technical name for it. I don't think there is a technical name for it. So it gives you a couple more seconds to cool down, and it also gives a more sort of resolved kind of finish kind of feeling to it. Another one that's a little bit similar, let me play it for you. So. So what is that? That I am doing a 4 to 4 minor to 1. I'm subbing that at the end. So as opposed to going to 1, I'm going to 4 and then going to the 4 minor and then to 1. This is sort of like a sad amen. Like it has a similar vibe to it, but because I added the 4 minor, I like that sound a lot. So that's something you can do. It's a little bit more melancholy. Let's go on our list here. Number 8. Number 8. I think we're on number 8. Make sure we have enough time. Number 8 is a walk down. 4 3 2 1. 4 2 3 2. It's a little bit more gospel vibe, R&B kind of thing. If you want something more fancy, I won't explain this, but just added some passing notes. The 4 3 2 1 walk down. That's something you can do. Give you 2 more. That's kind of uncommon, but I like to do that sometimes. Not super useful, but you know, why not? It's just for fun. I call this the heroic ending. It's the flat 6 to flat 7 to 1. One more, again, not very practical, but fun. It's a little bit more jazzy, this one. not practical, but I won't talk about it because of time, but that's something you could do. If that's helpful to you, you can, take a look at the chords, and maybe I'll explain it in a future video. So hopefully all this will help you when you have to decide on a song ending, the ending of a song, depending on the scenario. If you are playing in church, that's something that you have to do often, so as a piano player especially. So take these tips and practice them, and of course this is not all the possible endings, that's impossible to include. So if you have other ones that you use often, let me know in the comment section. Let me know which one you like the best. And what's your favorite way to sort of end the song? Let me know in the section below. And for my patrons, on my Patreon page, if you'd like, you can go over there and you can download those endings that I've typed out. I've listed out all of them, type on a score and sort of how I use them, my transcription of the thing that I played, and you can download the score there and practice them along with the score. If you find these videos to be helpful, let me know in the comment section down below. I will consider doing more of these if you find them to be helpful. And thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.